No matter what industry you're in, your small businesses will incur expenses, from software subscriptions to travel costs to client lunches. And as a business owner, it's your responsibility to make sure you and your employees are tracking all of these expenses. It might sound dramatic, but tracking business expenses accurately and comprehensively can be the difference between a healthy, growing company and a disaster. Tracking expenses helps you avoid cash flow problems, identify cost-saving opportunities, and avoid penalties come tax time. So, how do you stay on top of things? First, it's important to understand what qualifies as a business expense. A business expense is any cost incurred that is ordinary and necessary to running your business. Things like rent, supplies, equipment, software, inventory, and professional services. To get started tracking these expenses, you first have to separate personal from business spending. If you're self-employed, it can be tempting to put everything on the same credit card, but that creates a major headache when it's time to do your taxes or apply for financing. To keep things clean and compliant, set up a dedicated business credit card and use it exclusively for work-related expenses. This not only simplifies record keeping, but also protects you in case of an audit. Next, establish a consistent method for tracking expenses. That could be a small business expense spreadsheet or a mobile app. There are also tons of subscription-based software tools to choose from, and most of them offer helpful features like receipt scanning and automated categorization. But whatever you choose, the most important thing is that it's used regularly by everyone who makes purchases on behalf of your business. Next up, it's time to get clear on categories. Organizing expenses into clear categories makes it easier to analyze spending and, crucially, prepare for tax season. Come April, you'll want every deductible dollar accounted for, but the way you track and what you track can vary based on your industry. For example, let's say your small business is a cafe or restaurant. If that's the case, you'll want to track inventory costs, supplier invoices, spoilage, and seasonal menu items. Use category tags to separate fixed costs, like rent and utilities, from variable ones, like weekly produce orders. And don't forget to log employee meals and promotional discounts. Now let's say you run a consulting business or offer professional services like legal support or design work. In that case, you'll want to make sure your expense tracking includes travel to client sites and subscriptions for any tools you use. Many consultants forget to log small things like parking or cloud storage fees, but those add up. And remember, in these fields, time really is money. Tracking expenses by client can help you assess profitability on a per-project basis and know when it's time to adjust your rates. Here's one last example. Let's say you work in construction or field services. You're likely juggling equipment rentals, subcontractor payments, permits, and material costs, all of which vary from job to job. When tracking expenses, make sure to use job codes or project numbers to assign each expense to a specific site. This makes it easier to spot which projects are staying on budget and which ones need more oversight. Once you've identified all the relevant expense categories for your small business, it's time to make documentation a habit. Save every receipt and log every transaction. If you have employees, establish clear policies around what can be expensed and how to track it. For instance, you might require short descriptions when expenses are entered, or have a procedure in place for what to do if you lose a receipt. It might feel tedious at first, but your future self and your accountant will thank you. Finally, review your expenses regularly. Monthly reviews can help you catch errors early, assess spending patterns, and ensure that your budget is working for you, not against you. And if you're dealing with cash flow issues, running a newer business, or operating on tight margins, you might consider reviewing expenses more frequently, on a weekly or even daily basis.
A good template is a great way to get started. No matter the industry, the more visibility you have into your expenses, the more control you have over your business.